Hello everybody to lesson 37 of JavaScript for Active Design course. In this lesson, we will know how to access and how to find the elements in JavaScript with, the find elements, for example, the find, functions. We have three functions that we will use in this lesson, which is find element or get element by ID, get elements by name, tag name, and get elements by class name. Let's start with the first. So here I'll find, for example, I will create a header, which is h1. I will name it, this is first header, great. And then here I will define a script, and inside the script I will say, let's define here an ID and a class. I will say class 1 and ID 1. Okay, so here in the script I will define, for example, I will get the content of this element by ID. So I will see what? I will see document, I will see x, var x, I'm sorry. So I will see var x equal document dot get element by ID. Let's get that element by ID firstly. So I will say ID1 and then dot okay, now ID1. Great. Now if I need to print or to bot this content, or to change it, or to see alert that content, it's easy. Alert x dot inner HTML. Great. Save it and refresh. When we refresh, it will show us the content of that element. Great. Also, you could change the element content. For example, let's see, it would be, for example, x dot inner HTML, and we will say equal equal, for example, new content. So when we refresh the page, the text content will be changed. Refresh, the text content means we have accessed successfully. The second is get element by ID. The second is get element by tag name. So you'll say get element by tag name. Okay, so you should notice that we have here s. So that means we will get an array, many elements. We will get here many elements, more than one element. And we'll write here the tag name, which is in our case h1. Okay, so now if we need to access this element or to change this element, we will say x and the index. For example, how many h1 we have here? We have only one. So if we have, for example, 3, 4, 100, we will use the index of them. So the first is 0. The arrays, as we know, is 0 indexed. So we need the first element, which is x0 dot inner HTML. We will say new content. Great. Refresh. So the text changed. Okay, great. Also, you could print or alert that text as you want. So now we have accessed that element by tag name, which we have, as we say, that it will return, this function will return an array because it's plural. So we have get element, so there is an s of the plural, by tag name. Okay, the second is get element by class name. Get element by class name, and the class name in our state is class 1. Okay, so now to access the element by class name is the same as accessing the element by the the tag name. So now we have, for example, class 1, and we need to access the first class inner HTML called new content. The content will be changed. If you need to alert that content, it's easy. It will be, for example, alert, and then the content we want to change it. For example, I will say want to alert, I will say x then 0 dot inner HTML semicolon, then save. When we refresh, it will be alert new content, means that we have changed that, I mean we have accessed that element with the class name. Great. There's another element which is get element by name. Okay, so by name we will have the element's name. For example, here I will see h1. Okay, then when we refresh page by name, we should create a name here. So I will say name, I'm sorry, name, it will equal, for example, h1. So when we refresh the page, it should access that element by name. So now we have created the name, so we could manipulate that name with the first. Okay, let's roll back one step back. Out by class name, imagine I have many elements. For example, I have a div, and this div contains, this is div content, and this div contains a class called class 1, the same. I need to access that class. How could I access it? It's easy. And imagine that I have nothing here. It's easy. How is it gonna be? It's gonna be like the following. I will say, for example, I need to alert. I will say alert x. I need the first or the second. So I'll see 1. So the first is 0, second is 1. Dot inner HTML. You could change it. You could alert like our situation here. So this is the first header. This is the we need to alert. So I will say alert get elements by, not by name, get element by class name, which is the class 1. We refresh, it will bring the content of the div. Okay, great. So this is how to access the elements in JavaScript. We could access elements by get elements by class name, and we have an array, or get elements by element by by name, or by tag name. Get element by tag name. Okay. Also we could access element by ID, which is like this situation, which use the unique ID. We have it over there. And this is the lesson for this session. I hope it's easy. I repeat the codes and the talking just to focus with it, not forgetting that information. And thanks for listening and watching, and see you in the next video.